Well, hi everyone, and welcome to Community Journal. Thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate you tuning us in, and we have an interesting show for you today. And here we are going toward the end of January already.
I can't believe it, and we still haven't had an appreciable amount of snow.
We have been so lucky. We have dodged.
Fingers crossed.
I mean,
know.
so much. It's really amazing. Although the other day we had quite a little storm.
Yes. The amount of wind we got was amazing.
It really was. It
Yes.
was probably the biggest wind that we've seen at our location in a long, long time. And
Was it
the
48
rain.
miles per hour?
Well, I clocked 48 miles an hour, and that's below the tree line. So you know, above the tree line it was probably around 60, 65 miles an hour. So it was pretty good wind. And we got almost an inch of rain, and more than half of that fell in a half hour. So, you know, that's a rate of an inch an hour, and that's really quite a lot of rain very quickly. So, you know, if that were ever snow, we would. So we've
been digging out.
Yeah, we've been very, very lucky. So hopefully it will continue.
Yes,
So
yes.
We'll see what happens. Our first spot this week is going to be a visit to the library with Emily and Ann Carpenter. So let's take a look and see what's going on down at the Brooks Library.
I'm Emily Milan, Assistant Director of Brooks Free Library, and I'm here with my coworker Ann Carpenter, our Youth Services Librarian. And we're here to share some news and announcements about upcoming programs at the library. But before we get into programming, I do want to make a quick announcement that the Friends Book Sale Room is back open. We're thrilled to have it back open after it was closed for a period through the holidays. And I know patrons have been very excited to be able to visit the book sale room again. So for more information about hours, please visit our website or call the library. So in addition to some regularly scheduled programming such as writers groups and book groups, we wanted to share some information about upcoming programming that we have scheduled. Funding for the following programming is provided by the Howard Lang Trust. And first of all, we are continuing our movie matinees every Tuesday at 1 p.m. This series features classic books that became movies, and we'll be finishing off January with Anna Karenina on the 30th, and then starting off February with The Importance of Being Earnest and For Whom the Bell Tolls. Next up in our Adventurers Club series, which hosts a different speaker on the first Friday of each month, is Sam Ducharme. Sam will be with us on Friday, February the 2nd at 1:30 to tell the tale of his 2,180-mile journey along the Appalachian Trail. Over the period of 6 months, Sam hiked the entire length of the trail from Georgia to Maine, and he'll be bringing along all of his gear and discussing the valuable lessons in trail nutrition and enduring the elements that he learned on this journey. Following Sam on Sunday, February the 4th, the Friends of Brooks Free Library have invited local author Anne LeClaire to come and speak. So please feel free to join us at 2 p.m. for this author talk, followed by some light refreshments. On February the 10th, we're hosting the Northside String Band as a part of our ongoing music series, which features local musical talent on the second Saturday of each month at 2 p.m. So this month, the Northside String Band will be on hand to offer a variety of music ranging from old instrumentals to Buddy Holly, from Hank Williams to Johnny Cash. So they provide a diverse selection of music that we think will appeal to a wide audience. After the February the 10th, we have our vacation programming in the children's department that Anne's going to tell us about now.
Great, thank you, Emily. February vacation is a great time for kids because they don't have to be in school, but sometimes it also leads to a lot of, I'm bored, the weather's not good enough to go outside. So the library is here to meet all of your I'm bored needs. First up, on the very first day of February vacation, which is that Saturday, so Saturday the 17th of February, we're going to have a motion man. He's coming in. It's going to be a really great, super dynamic performance. He does magic, he does some miming, he does illusions. It's going to be a really neat place to come, and that's going to be for all ages, and you do not need to register ahead of time. And it will be at 2:30, and that is also being paid for through the Howard Lang Fund. And then coming up the actual week of vacation, it was really nice. We were able to combine sort of youth services and adult services for an intergenerational program. The adult movie matinee program is going to be showing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which is a great way to bring in, you can bring the kids with you, grandparents and grandchildren, because we all, generations of children now have fond memories of both the classic Roald Dahl book and the movie version as well. So it was a really nice coming together of multiple things going on. And then on Wednesday, which would be February 21st, at 2:30, we're going to have a toy boat engineering challenge. So we'll give the children a variety of different materials to work with, and the challenge will be, can you use these materials to build a boat that will float at least 20 pennies? And it sounds easy, but then when you actually get your hands on there, it's a lot more difficult than you'd think. But the other great thing about it is that we'll have a number of different levels of challenges, so that way a very wide variety of children will be able to feel both challenged and accomplished. So even if you have a kindergartner, we'll have challenges, so that way the kindergartner will be successful, but if you have a much older, a middle schooler, or even some of the younger high schoolers, we'll up the challenge level a little bit so that they'll still be challenged. This is one of my favorite engineering challenges, is the boat one. So I'm really looking forward to having everyone do that. And as with all of our February vacation programs, there is no registration required. You can just come right down to the library and have a good time. On Friday at 2:30, we're going to be doing a craft. We're going to be making some sun catchers. So add a little bit of color to your otherwise gray and dreary February. By making these nice colorful little things. You can put them in the window, the sun shines through them, and it just jazzes up a gray winter. And then on Saturday, February 24th, the last weekend of February vacation, we are bringing back the second annual Family Fortnight. So building forts has been a family tradition for as long as there have been sheets, I think people have used them to build forts out of. So the way this will work is that at 5 o'clock, people can come to the library and they can bring as many sheets as you have. We're going to have a bunch of different clips. We're going to order some pizza, we'll eat some pizza, and then you'll let loose into the otherwise closed library to clip the sheets to the bookshelves or the chairs or whatever. We made some really elaborate forts last year. It was a lot of fun. We'll spend some classic snuggling in the forts, reading and playing board games, and then we usually end the night by having a rousing rendition of hide and seek in the library in the dark with flashlights, which was a lot of fun last year. That one we are asking people to RSVP to, so if you could contact us at 508-430-7562, extension 2 for the Youth Services Department, or you can email me at acarpenter@clamsnet.org. We'd like people to register so that way we know ahead of time how much pizza we want to order, because kids like to eat and it would be very sad if we ran out. So please let us know ahead of time that you're coming. We would ask you to bring a sheet if you have one, but we will have a number of sheets on hand if you don't have one available or other circumstances. So that is going to be our February vacation. In the meantime, not just for February vacation, we have a new program at the library that we're very excited about. Emily Murray, who is associated with the Cape Cod Theater Company, formerly the home of the Harwich Junior Theater, is starting a new program for us on Mondays at 10:30 for preschoolers. It's called Dress Up and Drama, and it's going to be so much fun. What she does is she reads a story. So let's say it was the Three Little Pigs. She would read the Three Little Pigs, and then afterwards the kids would make props. So they might make pig masks or little houses or whatever, and then they reenact the story using their props and their dress-up things that they just made to create the thing. And 2, 3, 4-year-olds absolutely love this. We all know how much they love to dress up and how much they love to make crafts and how much they love stories. So it's all of their favorite things bundled up into one program. And that one you do not need to register for. It is a drop-in program, and that is every Monday at 10:30.
The staff is really excited about this one as well because we can't wait to see all of the different costumes and props that the kids make as this program gets started. So please come and join us for that. Before we wrap up, one last thing, I wanted to give you a preview of the next installment in our wellness series. We're about to finish up our very popular mindfulness series, which will end on Thursday, February the 1st. And then at the end of February, on February the 26th, we're going to start a new workshop series on essential oils. So essential oils have been used throughout history for many different things, but we're going to invite you to come on Monday evenings for 5 weeks beginning February the 26th to learn more about how you might be interested in using essential oils in your home and in your life.
Oh, God,
For more information about that program and any of the programs that we've discussed today, you can visit our event calendar on our website at brooksfreelibrary.org, or feel free to call the library at 508-430-7562, extension 1 for the circulation desk, and they can give you more information about those programs. You can also find our printed newsletter at the library and in other community locations such as here at the Community Center and at the Chamber of Commerce. We hope you'll come in and join us for a program soon.
You know, Emily Milan and Ann Carpenter are so creative.
I know,
it's
and
just
they're so
amazing.
enthusiastic. They love what they do, and it shows.
It really shows.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
That
It's contagious.
the fort thing that
Oh,
they're
I
planning.
know. Doesn't it sound like
that
fun? Our
sounds
kids would have
incredible.
loved that.
Oh yeah, they would have loved it.
Well, they're not kids anymore,
No,
but when they
but
were.
I'm telling you, what goes on at that library is great, especially during vacation time. They just do so many great things for kids, and we're very lucky to have all that staff down at
Yes,
that
we are.
library. We
Yes,
really
we
are.
are.
Very, very true. Speaking of the library, you have another announcement
I
concerning the
do.
library.
Yes, I do. Do you love to read, watch DVDs or videos, or listen to recorded books or music? Is it difficult for you to get to the library? Well, Books on Wheels can help. Volunteers choose books or other material from a list you provide and deliver them to your home. In 2 weeks, a volunteer returns to pick up that delivery and leave another. It's free, it's easy, and it's fun. So call 508-430-7562 for more information if you would like to take advantage of this service. And the service is provided by the Friends of Brooks Free Library.
Very nice.
I know.
That's wonderful.
I know.
It really is. Yeah, very good.
The library covers all ages and all situations.
It does. It
Yes.
really does.
Yeah.
Well, this is an important announcement for those of you that have young children. The Chatham Elementary School will conduct its early childhood screening on Wednesday, March 14th, 2018. The Harwich Elementary School will conduct its early childhood screening on Wednesday and Thursday, March 21st and March 22nd, 2018. Harwich Elementary School will also be hosting an open house on Wednesday, March 14th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. to welcome all new parents to visit the preschool classroom, meet the teachers, and answer any questions that you might have. Families requesting a screening appointment need to contact Kathy Karras, Special Education Secretary, at 508-430-7216 or 508-945-5135. Or you can email her at ckarras@monomoy.edu. That's ckarras@monomoy.edu. So again, that's very important
I was just going
for
to say
early
that.
childhood
Yeah.
screening. It's extremely important that
It
you
is.
do that. I know sometimes parents sort of forget that you should do that, and
They don't
'cause
realize the
us
importance of
both
it.
being former educators, we knew how important this was to get your kid screened early. And you know, so many things can go right if you do it early.
Yes, early intervention is so important if there is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Right, very good. So that's an important one. Now, periodically, our town administrator brings an update as to what's going on around town and what's going on at the administrator's office. So Chris Clark is going to do his administrator's address at this time. So let's take a look at that now.
This is Christopher Clark, Town Administrator for the Town of Harwich. I thought today, based upon a good suggestion from my cameraman here, that I would talk about something a little bit of a lighter topic, and basically a review of 2017, just kind of from my perspective. Did we have a good year, and how was the year? So with that, I had to give a little bit of thought in terms of some of the activities that occurred during 17. One of the things probably fairly significant in 2017 was that we had the departure of 2 long-term selectmen. Peter Hughes and Angelo Lamantia both departed the board. I think in terms of my time here, those were 2 holdovers. 2017 was also the year that I hit 4 years completed in the town of Harwich. So I've been here for over 4 years as your town administrator. And Peter and Angelo were part of the original board that had hired me. We did have Larry Ballantyne, who was on the board previously, return to the board in that time. So I had Larry when I started, and then Larry took, I think, a year or 2 off, and now Larry's back on the board. So I have 1 out of the original 5 board members that was on the board when I was originally hired. So obviously that leads to challenges when your full board changes out. I just wanted to really just extend my appreciation. I thought that Peter Hughes was just such a tireless person working on behalf of the residents of the town of Harwich, and just really, I thought, a really sincere and nice person, and I really appreciate my time with him. Angelo Lamantia, although I think he and I didn't always see eye to eye on things, I thought Angelo, like Peter, was just a real gentleman's gentleman, just a really nice person, a great person to work with from my perspective. So I understand the nature of government, and people give their time, and they do dedicate a lot of time to these positions, and I think Peter and Angelo certainly were in that category. So I wish them both well as they've moved on to other, hopefully better endeavors for them, and not as time consuming. But just wanted to acknowledge and appreciate their service to the community. In terms of looking at this year, it seems one of the trends, and I know when I was hired, they would say, you know, a lot of places have said to me that this is the era that you're going to see a lot of change out in personnel. And we certainly have been doing that. Our organization has been in transition. And we tend to be in transition for 2 reasons. One, people come in and they like their job initially and then decide, oh, maybe we want to do something else, whether it's a life circumstance or a better opportunity that's emerged. So we've had some departures based upon that. Andy Gould was our finance director. I really appreciated all the work that Andy did. Certainly this 2017 town meeting was in budget was a challenge, because I think I had 3 finance directors during the course of that time. So Andy, then a temporary person from a gentleman from Orleans, David from Orleans, and then Carol Coppola joined our team in 2017. So we've had you know, some real transition in terms of that. We did have also just a few others that departed. Ali Sabatino, who I thought was a great hire, came over from New York, did a great job as town planner for us. I would like to say, and I think this is very true, that Chatham kind of recruited her away, offered her more money, maybe a little bit better opportunity. They have a little bigger planning staff in Chatham than we have. So Ali made that transition over. Jay Briggs was our local inspector, had an opportunity to get a promotion, so went to Chatham to become their building commissioner. So he had that opportunity. One other one in that same vein, Dave Requena, who was our building commissioner, had transitioned out of the organization and went to the town of Wareham. I think in that circumstance, probably a little bit closer at home for him. So I think that was fairly lateral move from a money perspective, but in terms of being closer to home, I think that was probably one of the key components. But we were able to bring Ray Chesley on board. Ray had worked for us before in a part-time capacity. I like to think that he liked us so much he came back for a different capacity, in a full-time capacity. So Ray has been the building commissioner. And then the other side of the coin, and really some of the more key department heads, not key department heads, but department heads that have been with the town for a long time, just decided to do the retirement option. So Paula Champagne, who had been the health director for a long, long time, she decided to take up and enjoy retirement, which we're happy for Paula that she's been able to do that. And she did a good job of training and mentoring Megan Tierney. Megan was her longtime assistant, and Megan was put in for the position through the internal promotion process and was selected for the position. So Megan Tierney joins our community development management team. One thing that was kind of near and dear to me too was I had a chance, Barbara Ann Foley, who was the Council on Aging Director, longtime Council on Aging Director, retired right around July 4th, actually her assistant also retired right in that area. Gail Kroll, actually it's Gail Barnes. She changed her name. So we had two people depart. I actually had the opportunity during 2017 to go down and be the acting Council on Aging director to help kind of rebuild that department, if you would. We were able to, we received an application from Judy Wilson, who was the director over in Orleans, who had a real interest in coming over. So she was selected and brought on board. So you can kind of see when you have a larger organization, Town of Harwich has about 175 employees broken up into 22 different divisions. So quite a bit of ground we cover. It's not at all unusual to have departures of this nature, and as you can see, some were for family reasons, some were for professional reasons, and some, quite honestly, were just for retirement. So the fact that we've been able to bring people in and recruit people to come on board and have them work for us, I think we continue to maintain a strong organization by having hopefully a reasonably good reputation in the field that we want to encourage people to come on board. 2017 also had a few other things. We did reach the wastewater agreement with the town of Chatham. That was ultimately voted at town meeting and at the ballot to commence a phase 2 of the wastewater treatment plant, comprehensive wastewater management plan. So we are well underway. 2018 will be the ballot for, we did the design, and then we will plug into the town of Chatham, and we have now coming up the construction will be in for 18. A couple other ones, just Saquatucket. We have the water side is well underway. That went reasonably smooth, and the land side work has been a little bit controversial as the economy has heated up. The bids have been coming in high for a lot of work in 17, which is good that the economy is heated up in a lot of ways. It has positives, but it also does have some negatives. And one of the negatives is the cost of doing some of these construction projects has bumped up. With that being said, too, we are currently engaged in the golf. The golf department is doing a new cart barn and new kind of layout configuration for the as you enter the facility, Cranberry Valley, and trying to make that more aesthetically pleasing by relocating the existing cart barn and replacing it with a new one. Personally, I always I'm kind of the numbers guy. I like to make sure that things work. So I think from a financial perspective, I think we had a pretty good year. We were able to balance the budget, engage a lot of these projects, and keep us on course. And one real measure that I use as a good test is we did meet with Standard & Poor's this past year. And part of Standard & Poor's and the rating you get is really kind of a twofold approach. One is they look at how the town of Harwich is doing in the bigger picture, and then how is the financial team of the town of Harwich doing. And I think Harwich, in the bigger picture, they felt that we were stable and able to sustain our AA+ rating, but they didn't think that the community, in terms of some income factors, our contributions that we've made to county retirement and OPEB, were quite enough to kind of bump us up into that AAA rating. So I think that they did identify us as a AA plus, as stable and strong, which I think is a very positive. And one thing personally that I liked a lot was that they said that I think 3 or 4 times in the write-up, they said that the finance team was strong and that we've done considerable improvement over the years. So I think we are on a good trajectory, a good course. This year we were also identified free cash at $3.5 million, which is the 3rd highest in 15 years. And I've been here for two of those 3 over the last 15 years. So I'm very proud that we have been able to build financially a stronger organization. I know I went a little bit long. 2017 was 365 days, and I had 10 minutes to recap it all. So I try to do my best to provide good information in a compact amount of time. Christopher Clark, thank you for your time and attention.
Okay.
Well, we really appreciate Chris taking the time to bring us up to date, and you know, he always has such a comprehensive review, which is really great.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
And it's nice of him to do it for us
Yes, it
all.
is. Thank you, Chris. And Eileen, you've got some very important messages from the Family Pantry.
I do. I have some announcements here that I would like to share with you that are from the Executive Director of the Family Pantry, Christine Menard. Well, as we all know, the holidays are over and behind us, and the pantry is breathing a sigh of relief as they button up and return to the everyday job of providing food and clothing for those in need 365 days a year. Each year during the holidays, they put their heads down and go to work, and when we finally look up, they are awed by the generosity of those who support the pantry and allow them to provide for those in need. The Second Glance Thrift Shop had a banner year, helping to provide the funds to cover the cost of their new goal of providing up to 30% fresh fruits and vegetables to the clients.
Oh, that's
amazing.
That's amazing.
And there's more on that in a minute. The pantry's clothing boutique gave out 30 tons of clothing to men, women, and children, and the pantry distributed over 75,000 bags of food in 2017. I mean, the numbers are just astonishing.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
It's impossible to adequately express their gratitude for every contribution, regardless of the size. And finally, from Christine and the pantry, thank you to all of the volunteers who show up every day with a smile and small yet mighty staff who make this the best gig that she has ever had. Happy New Year, my friends, to all of you on the team, and it's guaranteed to be a great one. And now I'm going to give you an updated but abbreviated update of what's been happening at the pantry. First of all, a brand new refrigerated produce case was installed at the pantry in December. The case was donated by Cape Associates, and it helps the pantry achieve the goal of providing at least 30% of all foods as fresh fruits and vegetables. Clients and volunteers were delighted to see the new case. The case makes it easier for clients to see the selection and to choose from a vast array of healthy fruits and vegetables. And there's a picture here that portrays it, and it looks exactly what you would see in the supermarket.
It sure
Stop and
does.
Shop
It's
or
quite
Shaw's
amazing,
or,
really,
Yeah,
yeah.
wherever you might be shopping. And then, of course, Toy Day, which is one of the biggest days of the year at the pantry. This year, 115 bikes were donated to the Family Pantry for the annual Family Pantry Toy Day. Thank you to the Armbruster, Morong, and I think it's CD families, and an anonymous family from Chatham for making the holidays wonderful for 115 pantry children. Special thanks goes to the Dennis Cycle Center for finding, procuring, and assembling the bikes and helmets this year. And I don't know if many of you know, but Benny's had been the provider of bikes for many years. They had a wonderful deal that they offered the pantry. And of course, with the closing of Benny's, it was difficult to find someone else to step up,
they
and the
really
Dennis
stepped
Cycle
up.
Center did that.
Yeah, they did.
And kudos to them for that. Matt Van Gelder and his team picked up the charge when Benny's department store closed in the fall and left the pantry without a source for the bikes. Finally, Mark London and his group of bike wranglers worked quietly behind the scenes to get the bikes stored at the Harwich Community Center and then distributed during Toy Day. And a lot of children had smiles on their faces on Christmas morning.
They sure did, and you know, the need just keeps on going up,
does,
you know, in
it
this
does.
economy, and the pantry is doing such a wide amount of work. I mean, I don't know how many thousands of people have benefited and really needed what the pantry gives. And you know, it comes to the point where people have to be sort of educated. It becomes, do I pay my electric bill or do I have food? Well, the food is there, so you can pay your electric bill.
Yes.
And you know, that's so important. And you know, it's just a wonderful organization. They do so much good work. And speaking of that, you know, in the summertime, and it's not too early to think about this, this summer coming up, June 24th, is the annual gala, and that is a huge celebration, a huge fundraiser for the pantry, and that's going to be happening again this year. The chairs, Tom and Shelley O'Neill, are back again this year, and it is a big celebration. It's going to be at the Witchmere Beach Club, which it is each year, and it's a wonderful evening. So just sort of, you know, think about that date, the 24th of June, big prizes and just a wonderful night. The tickets are $150 a person. They'll soon be available, and it sells out very, very quickly.
Yes, it sells like that.
So just be watching for those tickets. It's one of the biggest benefits for the family pantry.
And it provides all that I just talked about.
It does,
and more.
and we'll be talking about this more as the time approaches, but just wanted to sort of mention that. Well, folks, that is our show for this week. We really appreciate you tuning in on behalf of all of us here at Channel 18. Thank you so much.
Yes, and please take advantage of all that's going on around town, and please help the organizations that are helping so many people here on the Cape to stay here, really, because we need a lot of seasonal workers.
We sure do.
Yes, and they live here year-round, and they need help in the winter when there isn't the work that there is in the summer. So keep that in mind.
Very good. All right, folks, take care. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.